Tuesday is upon us, 7th day of January 2025. I am Dan Coons. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, although the town you see behind me is actually Ephrata. Hello, Ephrata, the seat of Grant County. Overcast and 32 degrees right now. Not going to be much warmer. We never did quite see the sunshine yesterday. We were supposed to. It looked like, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock hour on Monday morning that the sun was going to come out as the National Weather Service had predicted. But those deck of clouds never quite burned off. You had to get above the cloud level, about 2,500 feet or so, to get up into the sunshine. Nobody is going to be seeing sunshine today. Forecast details are coming up. Big ridge of high pressure is keeping all whatever kind of active weather that would be paying us a visit away from us. Weather, in a word, is just kind of just there. It's January weather in the Wenatchee Valley in north central Washington. This is something we deal with every year. Pretty cloudy today. A few sun breaks off and on towards the end of the week. The weekend, though, looks really good. Forecast details are on the way. We will, of course, do the news, because the news is an important thing. In sports, the Seattle Kraken never led last night against the New Jersey Devils, and when you never lead, you usually lose. And they did. They lost to the New Jersey Devils. The final was 3-2 at Climate Pledge Arena to wrap up their 4-game homestand. They're not playing really good hockey right now. The Seattle Kraken are. We'll have highlights of that and everything else that you need in the world of sports. And, of course, Austin Drade will be joining me as he does every Tuesday, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. They had a good weekend. Lost to Vancouver on Friday, but gave them a good tussle. And then we doubled them up on Portland in Portland on Saturday. We won 6-3, and then we just demolished, I mean the Wenatchee Wild. I don't play for them. I don't even play hockey. But the Wenatchee Wild just demolished the Tri-City Americans in Kennewick, 10-2, with Evan Friesen scoring 4 goals. Austin will talk about a Wenatchee Wild hockey team that's doing the exact opposite of the Kraken, which is playing good hockey. We'll have that for you. Of course, the big game is Saturday night. Spokane is in town Saturday at 6 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. Guns and Hoses night as well. 1 ticket buys you 2 hockey games. Well, kind of a game and a half. In any event, we'll have all of that with Austin coming up in the back half of the program. We have not 1, not 2, but 3 slides to show for you. First of all, the National Weather Service has what they call the water year. It begins on October 1st and goes through September 30th. Why they do that, I don't know. And as you look at the slide, you'll notice that as far as snowfall is concerned, for most of eastern Washington, Wenatchee's not in there, it has been less snow than normal. Your total snowfalls on your left, and then in red is the departure from normal. So it's been a dry winter so far in regards to snowfall, with the notable exception of the Medhow Valley, of course. As you can see there, Winthrop has had almost 52.5 inches of snow already since October 1st. That's 18 more inches than they normally see for this time of the year. And look at Mazama. They've had almost 79 inches of snow. Man, if you're a cross-country skier or snowmobiler, that's where you want to go. That's 15 inches more than they would normally have. That's snowfall. So for the most part, it's been below normal, but rainfall above normal by quite a bit. Of course, right here in the Wenatchee Valley, we had one of the wettest Novembers on record. And so it's been a wetter than normal water year so far as in regards to rain, but not so much for snow. Climate Prediction Center sped out their long-term forecast for next week, and they're usually pretty good about this. For next week, for January 12th through the 16th, we are having about a 50-50 chance of seeing our temperatures just about normal for this time of the year, mid-30s, 35 or 36 for most of next week. Again, this is next week's forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. As far as precipitation is concerned, it's going to be drier than normal. We have about a 62% chance of seeing our precipitation below normal for next week, January 12th through the 16th. So normal temperatures, a little bit drier than normal for next week. But that's next week. This is the rest of this week and into the weekend. Cloudy and foggy and cloudy and foggy is what the National Weather Service is telling us. We'll get up to about 35 degrees. Guess what? Dense fog and clouds tonight, with an overnight low around 30. Now, we're hoping to see some sun breaks tomorrow. That's in the forecast. Anyway, we'll top off at about 36 degrees on Wednesday. Then right back to the clouds and the fog. Some of the fog can be pretty dense, by the way, on Thursday morning. It could make for a rather dicey commute. Lots of clouds on Wednesday night and Thursday, with a high Thursday of 36. Mostly cloudy Thursday night. Fog forms again. 30 for the overnight low. And then we start talking about rain. There'll be another short wave coming in. It's going to come in. It's going to knock the high pressure ridge out of alignment, and it's also going to warm us up. It's coming from the southwest. So rain, about a 50% chance of rain on Friday, and a high of 42. The snow level is going to be way above the Wenatchee Valley, so don't worry about any snow on Friday. Besides, 42 is a little too warm to snow. Lots of sunshine. Saturday, that looks good with a high of 42. And then Sunday, we wrap up the weekend with more sunshine and a high of 39 degrees. All right, that's your forecast. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have your Tuesday morning news, and quite a bit of it. You're watching a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if only you had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties, Mary Maids, let us help.
Have you ever played that game, What Would You Rather, where you give two options to see what your friend would choose? Well, let's try it. What would you rather? Would you rather have a telemarketer from a foreign call center named David, or a local North Central Washington agent who has been helping folks for over 20 years on Medicare and has 5 offices to serve you, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So, what would you rather? Now give us a call at Springwater Insurance. Our phone number, 509-888-2600.
All right, we are back. It's 10 minutes after the hour. It's cloudy, it's foggy, it's 30 degrees. Sunshine's taking the day off today. A few sun breaks tomorrow, a little rain perhaps on Friday. Quite a bit of sunshine for the upcoming weekend with temperatures above normal on Saturday and Sunday. So here's where we are. A police chase, an interesting story. A police chase allegedly involving 3 juveniles, a stolen car, and a pair of firearms ended with a crash on Saturday morning. This happened just outside of Ephrata. Grant County Sheriff's deputies say they spotted a vehicle at about 8:30 Saturday morning. It was traveling near Highway 282 and Dotson Road. That vehicle had been reported stolen a couple of hours earlier in Mattawa. The driver of the vehicle, a Ford Fusion, allegedly fled from a traffic stop only to be forced into a ditch on Dotson Road Northwest after running over a police spike strip. Deputies say the car was occupied by 2 14-year-old males and a 16-year-old male. Also found, they say, were 2 .22 caliber firearms. All 3 juveniles held in the Chelan County Juvenile Justice Center on possible charges of possessing a stolen vehicle, possessing a stolen firearm, unlawful possession of a firearm, and an attempt to elude police. A former Chelan County Sheriff's deputy has agreed to narrow his federal lawsuit against the county and the Sheriff's Office. Aaron Shepard sued Chelan County in 2023 over alleged harassment and discrimination during his time on the Sheriff's Office, claiming he was mistreated and undermined by his peers and superiors because he left Grace City Church, the evangelical Wenatchee Worship Center attended by many fellow deputies. The lawsuit says former Sheriff Brian Burnett promoted Grace City programs to his officers. Shepard's attorneys agreed last month to drop 9 of the 13 civil claims he's made against the county. The county denies the allegations in Shepard's lawsuit and says the case should be thrown out altogether because Shepard never filed a formal claim for damages. A U.S. District Judge in Spokane is expected to rule on the partial dismissal on January 29th. Congresswoman Kim Schreier's bill to improve and expand access to pediatric medical care has another 5 years of funding. The Emergency Medical Services for Children Reauthorization Act, signed into law at the end of last year by President Biden. The act reauthorizes the Federal Emergency Medical Services for Children's program. That program provides first responders with funding for training, research, data collection, and resources to improve the care for children in medical emergencies. The reauthorization passed the House on a suspension by a vote of 399 to 13 earlier this year. The program will receive $24 million each fiscal year through 2029. A new report from the Washington Department of Ecology shows Washington State met the legal limits on statewide greenhouse gas emissions in 2020. The Washington legislature set limits on greenhouse gas emissions based on 2008 climate science, and by 2020, the state was required to reduce total emissions to the levels that they were in 1990. The report shows Washington was 6% below the 1990 levels in 2020, although in 2021, emissions rose to 2.3% above the 1990 number. Ecology says the emissions rebound was due to the increases in transportation emissions by non-highway sources, like planes and boats and trains and lawnmowers. Despite the rise in 2021, emissions from passenger cars and trucks remained below pre-pandemic levels because of remote work, which meant there were less people driving around, and Ecology expects a continued decrease in the years ahead. Well, it's Tom Wacholder's first winter as the Director of Public Works for the city of Wenatchee. He's 38 years old. He spent several years overseeing the infrastructure in East Wenatchee. Then he went to work for the city of Leavenworth, and now he works for the city of Wenatchee. He began heading up the Wenatchee department over the summer. He replaced Rob Jammerman. Rob Jammerman retired, of course. In a sit-down interview, Wacholder told us his career in public works began when he was just a teenager.
My public works sector experience goes way back to when I graduated high school back in Wisconsin. I had a summer job, seasonal job with the Village of Pleasant Prairie Public Works, located in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. I was on the street crew, just doing road maintenance for the summers while I went to college. So in 2009, I got accepted at Central Washington University in the Resource Management graduate program, and I obtained an assistantship. So I decided to take a leap and go out and move out west to go to graduate school. A draw to me was just, basically, it was cool to me that we could, develop and design infrastructure that made the community better. So I enjoy helping folks, so just that kind of as a root of my, I guess, calling or what I like to do, and coupled with working for a city, like improving infrastructure, making the quality of life better for folks was a big draw to me in public works. And then aside from that, the leadership piece I really enjoy. I like collaborating a team around an issue or trying to work towards a common goal and just kind of bring a team together. And I really enjoy the leadership part as well. So,
is there a learning curve in terms of looking at how the city's infrastructure is built and figuring out, how do we make improvements on this?
Oh, certainly. And with the city of Wenatchee, I'm extremely fortunate. The 3 deputy directors in the department, they're extremely squared away and very good at their jobs. And so with the city of Wenatchee in particular, the learning curve of the infrastructure piece is a good part of it to get a general understanding. However, what I think is more important out of the gate is just building really strong relationships, not only with the staff and the team of Public Works, but partner agencies, that type of thing. So fortunately here at the city of Wenatchee, the infrastructure piece is a large part of it, but it's more building relationships and building up that leadership capital with the team. Now with the smaller agencies, that's like Leavenworth and East Wenatchee, had to wear multiple hats. So getting in the details of the infrastructure was actually good in the sense that I got to learn the boots on the ground and specific project management to these infrastructure improvement projects. So I was able to get a good technical understanding. So again, I think it just kind of scales with the size of the organization. One advantage of working for the city of East Wenatchee and Leavenworth is just building those partner agency relationships. So, it's the same DOT region, the Chelan Douglas Transportation Council, and just Chelan County Emergency Management. So I was able to build those relationships through those, working at those two agencies, and so that translates, of course, well to Wenatchee because it's similar situation.
Did you come into this with a particular philosophy of how to manage all these moving parts?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I developed a 90-day transition plan before I started at the city of Wenatchee. Of course, I knew I was appointed in the role. So my objective in the first 90 days was, one, just to build relationships. In fact, I met with every team member in Public Works. It took over 3 months, but I held about 75 one-on-one meetings. And the intent there was, again, one, to build relationships with everyone, and I wanted to see their perspective on the department to kind of identify opportunities that we could kind of focus in on as we move forward. And then also, too, just seeing what I could do to support the team. So that was kind of like my philosophy on initiating the appointment. Again, just the relationship building just being very key, identifying opportunities, and looking for areas that I could help support the team. Because my ultimate goal is to basically set the team up for success. What that looks like is just giving the team the resources they need, giving them kind of the guardrails, and identifying like, hey, what does great look like? What do you need for resources? And just basically let the team come up with the plan and collectively identify goals. And we're not quite at the goal setting phase. I mean, again, I've only been here 5 months, so that's going to be a next step in terms of the new year's collectively working with the leadership team and put some department goals together. I particularly, my wife and I, we really like the Wenatchee Valley. We've lived here since 2016. My ultimate goal is to stay in the valley, just for various reasons. It's just a wonderful place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. And also, I mean, that's another part. I really appreciate working for the city of Wenatchee because I could help improve the community that my family, we live in. So that's a driver too.
And over 50 Wenatchee Valley organizations were recipients of monetary donations from Stemilt. In the year just concluded, in 2024, Stemilt donated $240,000 to organizations that support key areas, including education, nutrition, and wellness. Also last year, the company reached a milestone donation with the Washington Apple Education Foundation of $1.3 million. During the holidays, Stemilt provided gifts to foster children in Chelan and Douglas counties, and a friendly office competition provided warm clothing items for children of Stemilt employees. In total, 827 clothing items were distributed to employees to keep their children warm throughout the winter, and we're all in favor of that. And that is the news on this Tuesday. If you're interested in what's going on around here, and we think you are, in the Wenatchee Valley and all of north central Washington, we fit the bill. We have a newscast at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5, 6, and 10, the evening news. That's the airing time on television, but I know a lot of people can't schedule that in so they know they're right in front of their TV at 6 o'clock. We get it. So we post our news on 3 different locations: on our homepage, NCWLIFE.com, on our YouTube page, and on our Facebook page. The news is there for you to watch whenever you're ready to watch it. It's up and running about 5 o'clock. And if something out there you think might be newsworthy, yes, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Kraken never led, yes, last night, which means they lost. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
The family at the Eplidolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Eplidolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Eplidolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Eplidolin Independent and Assisted Living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Who does Springwater Insurance Group work for? Well, we work for you. Now, some of you think we work for Medicare insurance plans. No, we work for you and your Medicare needs. Now, we are independent agents, and this allows us to teach you about all your plan choices. Now, once we find the most suitable health and drug plan for this new year, we then assist you with your enrollment. We also take it a step further. We provide local, face-to-face customer service at one of our local offices. We provide this service because it's what you want.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
In sports, the New Jersey Devils beat the Seattle Kraken last night 3-2 at Climate Pledge Arena to close out their 4-game homestand. Adam Larson and Shane Wright scored for Seattle. Philip Grubauer stopped 26 shots. The Kraken have lost 3 straight and 8 out of their last 10.
Will tie him up against the corner wall. Chandler Stevenson, goals in back-to-back games for Seattle, trying to clear. Timo Meier kept it in. Now Meier to the slot. He sure shoots. Turned aside, the rebound. Dawson, Mercer, and they score. Andre Burakovsky, right circle, Settle shot, tip right toward the net. I think Markstrom may have caught a piece of it. Larson keeps it alive. Here's Chandler Stevenson. Back to the line, sends it across. Larson shoots, scores! Larson ties this game in a goal apiece late in period 1.
Excellent defensive play by Andre Burakovsky, and look at the net front presence. Look at Jared McCann. Markstrom never sees it. Never sees it. I think something happened after this puck went into the net. Hopefully we can get the overhead look, because Markstrom, I think, give a shot to McCann after the goal went in, and is he allowed to play his position? That's the question. And I don't know if the Devils are going to, I know they're looking at it. But what a shot here by Lars.
Cotter drops it back into his own end.
On cue.
On cue? No relation. I don't know.
Where's Horseshack? Where's Horseshack?
Dawson Mercer tips it in. Comes off the inboard. Slides in. And Cotter scores.
It always seems like it's changing. It's never constant, and it's nothing worse than being on a power play when it's always seemed to be changing all the time.
Here's Dunn up top. On McCann. Jared McCann zips it down low. Kakko in front. Shane Wright scores! Shane Wright in front on the power play. We're tied at 2 early in the third.
He gets below the goal line. He's in front of the net. He'll drop off. Look where he is. He drops way off, and he just feathers this puck right here. Up and over the stick of Brendan Dillon. No chance for Markstrom, and the stick of Markstrom. And Shane Wright is just able to elevate that puck, and look at the reaction from Shane Wright. Yes, pointing at Kakko.
Takes over here for the Devils. Bratz to center. Hamilton in. Hughes, right side, in front, Andre Palat under the crossbar, and the Devils respond and take a 3-2 lead.
The Kraken embark on a 5-game road trip. It starts Thursday in Columbus against the Blue Jackets. Well, despite finishing on a winning note, the Seahawks are parting ways with offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. Grubb, of course, originally left Seattle. He went with Kalen DeBoer to Alabama. He was in Tuscaloosa for about 4 days, and then the Seahawks hired him, and then, well, yesterday the Seahawks fired him. We shall see what happens to Ryan Grubb. All right, Prep girls basketball schedule tonight. It is doubleheaders across the board. Ellensburg will be at Othello at 5:30. Also in CWAC, it's East Valley at Ephrata at 5:30. Liberty Bell girls travel to Chelan at 5:45. That's the same time for the tip-off of Omak at Cascade. And Manson and Tenasket, the girls will get going at 6 o'clock. For more schools, it's Lake Roosevelt and Brewster at 6 o'clock, Okanagan and Bridgeport at 6 o'clock. Cascade Christian Academy travels to Anaheim at 6, and a 6 o'clock tip-off as Soap Lake will host Moses Lake Christian. Boys, just like the girls, are doubleheaders or just a little bit later on. Othello tips off against Ellensburg boys at 7 o'clock. Same deal with Ephrata welcoming East Valley at 7 o'clock. 7:15 tip-off for Liberty Bell at Chelan, Omak at Cascade, and Manson at Tenasket at 7:30. And just like the girls, doubleheaders there. Lake Roosevelt at Brewster at 7:30, Okanagan at Bridgeport at 7:30, Cascade Christian Academy and Anaheim at 7:30, and that's the same time they'll tip off with Moses Lake Christian and Soap Lake. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 27 minutes after the hour. 7 obscure holidays today. First of all, it's Ethiopian Christmas Day. I'm not making that up. It's also Constitution Day in Ghana, and I looked it up, and they have one. I didn't know that. It's National Tempura Day. That's a Japanese dish, and it's pretty good. You can't see it around here. It's Harlem Globetrotters Day. Harlem Globetrotters played their very first game 99 years ago today. I'm not going to take it anymore day. It's National Pass Gas Day. I had some great facts about that, but I decided to go with National Bobblehead Day today. There's actually a National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum. It's in Milwaukee. There it is. It's been around for about 6 years. It houses the largest known collection of bobbleheads in the world. How does one get into the Bobblehead Hall of Fame? How does one qualify for that? What's the voting procedures there? Most people, of course, associate bobbleheads with sports figures. It's become a huge marketing tool now for a lot of sports teams. They have bobblehead nights on a regular basis, sometimes 2 or 3 different bobbleheads of the same players. That's why I put bobbleheads on my desk today. Believe it or not, Chinese nodding head figures go back to the 1760s in continental Europe. Then it made it to here, and they've been a staple ever since. The first sports bobbleheads, by the way, were made during the 1920s, and as you might imagine, they are collector's items because they're fragile and they don't last very long. There it is. If you're ever in Milwaukee, and why you'd be in Milwaukee is beyond me, you might want to visit the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum. I mean, why not? It's Milwaukee. There's nothing else to do there except that and drink beer. All right, let's move forward to today in history. It's hard to believe they actually did this game, but for 10 years, these teams that finished second in the NFL's Eastern Conference and Western Conference played what was called the Runner-Up Bowl. It was officially called the NFL Playoff Bowl. Everybody called it the Runner-Up Bowl. That means if you finished second, you still played one more game. The very first Runner-Up Bowl was played in Miami. All of them were played in Miami. Detroit beat Cleveland 17-16. They played 10 of these things. From 1961 to 1970, officially the winner was named third place in the NFL, but if you go to the NFL's website and all their history, they don't even recognize it anymore. The NFL classifies all of these games as exhibition games, and none of the stats or results can be found anywhere on the NFL's website. You have to go elsewhere to find it. Yeah, that's stupid. Why would they do that? If you finish second, you still have to play one more game to determine who's the third best team in the NFL. Vince Lombardi, whose Green Bay Packers played in 2 of them, called the Playoff Bowl a hinky-dink football game held in a hinky-dink town, played by hinky-dink players. The first Playoff Bowl. It's hard to believe they did that. I don't know. January 7th, 1973, 52 years ago today, 8 days after killing 2 police officers and wounding another outside the New Orleans City Jail, 23-year-old Mark Essex, a Navy veteran who was discharged, shoots and kills 3 more New Orleans police officers and 5 civilians during an 11-hour rampage and standoff at the Howard Johnson's Hotel in downtown New Orleans. Essex would eventually be killed by snipers on the roof. They found about 200 bullets in his body in both incidents Essex shot a total of 21 people, 9 of whom died. 10 of those shot in both incidents were policemen, 5 of whom died in New Orleans 52 years ago today. And 26 years ago today, it was all preordained. Everybody knew that he was going to be acquitted, but they did it anyway. The Senate trial in the impeachment of President Bill Clinton begins. The charges, lying under oath and obstruction of justice. He was acquitted on both counts. Of course, it takes a 2/3 majority of the vote of the senators present to be convicted. It was never going to happen. Everybody knew it, and it just happened. So 67 senators present needed to vote to convict him. Article 1, 45 senators voted to convict, 55 voted for acquittal. On Article 2, 50 senators voted to convict, 50 senators voted for acquittal, and everybody went back to work to make the laws. And finally, birthdays. We always do presidents. This is certainly one of the more caretaker presidents, forgettable presidents. Millard Fillmore. He was the 13th president of the United States. He was Zachary Taylor's vice president, and Zachary Taylor ate too much cherries on July 4th and died. So he assumed the presidency, Millard Fillmore did, and then he failed to even get his party's nomination for a term in his own right. Things didn't go well after his presidency. During the inauguration of his replacement, Franklin Pierce, Millard Fillmore's wife caught a cold, which eventually developed into pneumonia, and she died a couple of weeks later. And when he left the presidency, he was the first president who wasn't wealthy of any kind at all. He didn't have any land, he didn't have any money, he had to go out and get another job. There wasn't a pension back then. He did okay, he practiced law, then he tried again. He ran for the presidency in 1856 and actually won the state of Maryland. One of our caretaker presidents, the forgettable, lamentable Millard Fillmore, who grew up in abject poverty and became president, so you got to give him that. He was born in the state in 1800. Jan Wenner, the co-founder of Rolling Stone magazine. Of course, he doesn't own it anymore. He hasn't owned it for a while. He is 79 years old, also one of the founders of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum. Happy 79th to Jan Wenner. Katie Couric has a unique claim to fame. She worked for all 3 of the major networks. She worked for ABC News from 1989 to 2006, and then CBS News from 2006 to 2011. She anchored the evening news, and then she worked for ABC News from 2011 to 2014, and now she does her own thing, and she's 68 years old today. And I had forgot that Nicolas Cage won an Academy Award for Leaving Las Vegas. I mean, it was 30 years ago. It's easy to forget. Yeah, the Academy Award winner, Nicolas Cage. I associate him with, action movies like Alcatraz and stuff like that. Nicolas Cage is 61 years old today. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. If your HVAC system isn't performing the way you think it should be, or maybe it's just old. I mean, they don't last forever. Alpine Air is launching the Cash for Clunkers program. You could get like $2,000 back if you go to Alpine Air and say, get rid of my old piece of junk HVAC and give me something I can handle. Save me money, make the air cleaner in my house. For heat and air, call Alpine Air, give them a call. Going to take a break. When we come back, Mike McKnight has got an opinion, and then live in studio as usual, Austin Drade, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
Braden, I never even heard of the term lifestyle investor until you and I met. It's a interesting and intriguing concept, isn't it?
Well, I think most people just put their money in random places that they're, again, we said it before, they're just told like this is where they should place their money.
And they hope for the best.
And they hope for the best. They cross their fingers and they say, hopefully someday, maybe down the road in the future, if I don't die early, that maybe that money will be there and I can use it, right? And that's kind of like gone away a little bit when you look at more sophisticated financial planning and wealth strategies. A lot more now is like having clarity meetings and having clarity experiences with our clients to understand not just the rate of return that they want on their money and the risk associated with their money, but where do they feel comfortable placing their money? Do they want to have it into a bucket where they can use that money today? Do they want to invest their money in things that are going to enhance their spouse's lives, their kids' lives, maybe their grandkids' lives today, but also know that it's still going to grow. It's still going to be of value, right? It's not something that's just going to sit there and they're not going to have a money value that's going to increase, but it's something that's going to increase like memory. I call it memory dividends. How many memory dividends are you cashing in? Memories and moments and experiences. Are you creating those things? Are you buying the cabin in the right location so that you can go use it and experience it, but also down the road in 25 years sell it and still make money? Right? And that's the lifestyle investor, is understanding and aligning your money with your life.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, listening to a recent school board candidate, guy who was running for school board, I found it interesting that when asked by Jefferson Robbins what he first wanted to do if elected to the Wenatchee School Board, he said he wanted to institute a dress code. His reasoning was because if the girls dress provocatively, they will distract the boys and therefore interfere with their learning. Well, shades of the Taliban, doggone it. First of all, we males are responsible for our thoughts and our behaviors, and the concept of blaming women for our shortcomings in the sexual area or otherwise by saying, well, she tempted me, is total BS. When will we men stop blaming women for our behavior and holding them at fault because we choose not to control ourselves? Gosh, man, I thank God that person lost. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
Who's trying to stretch their budget this January? That's pretty much all of us. That's why Abby's is offering this giant pizza that can feed up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 hungry people for less than $27. Now, that's an Abby's budget stretching deal. Worried about a no-fun January? Not at Abby's. Dine on our Bacon Cheddar special. It's delicious and loaded with toppings and real cheese. Plus, it's on sale, and the kids can play some video games. Enjoy fun January at your local Abby's.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort. Totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
It's been an interesting week, to say the least, in the world of Wenatchee Wild hockey. The gentleman to my left you may have met or not. This is his first time he's ever done the show. Austin Dryday, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. Good weekend.
Really good weekend.
Got shut out by Vancouver. That happens.
Yeah.
3-0 on Friday. And then we came back on Saturday in the Rose City. Kicked a little Portland butt, 6-3. And then, speaking of butt kicking, 10-2 over the Tri-City Americans on Sunday afternoon. We'll get to all of that and talk more specific about the weekend and the upcoming games. But first of all, we're bumping up against the trade deadline, which is what, by the way?
Which is Friday.
Friday. Which means after Friday, your rosters are locked in. There are emergency circumstances. If you have, like, both of your goalies get hurt, you can do that kind of stuff. Outside of that, after Friday, that's it. You can't make any more roster moves. And Bliss Littler made 3 significant roster moves last week. We'll go one at a time. Kenta Isagai, the great Japanese-born player, is now a member of the Victoria Royals. Yep. Talk about that move.
Yeah, so we moved Kenta to Victoria, but we picked up several draft picks, some good draft picks. Got a second rounder, got a third rounder out of that. And Morgan Hackman picked up a forward who's been playing over in Nanaimo with the BCHL team. We were able to get him in and get him started in the WHL here this past weekend. Got to make his WHL debut in Vancouver on Friday night, which was nice. But we also picked up Nick Coring. We picked up the rights to him. He's still playing high school hockey over in Eden Prairie. He's played a little bit with the Muskegon Lumberjacks in the USHL, but he's a projected draft pick coming up this summer. And the WHL draft picks that we picked up, that was a significant haul for Kenta. And between those trades, Kenta and Daniel were continuing to pick up some more draft picks. We're picking up the rights to NCAA committed players who have a chance to come here and make a big impact when they get here.
Kenta Isagai was going to be done at the end of the year anyway. He was going to age out. Same deal with our goalie, Daniel Hauser. You mentioned Daniel briefly.
Yep.
Talk about that deal. He's now a member of the Calgary Hitmen.
Yeah, he's headed on to Calgary. We picked up Maxim Miranov, who's a Russian-born forward. Has been one of their more consistent scorers for the last few years. But we also picked up the rights to a couple of other guys. Mason Moe is over in Madison in the USHL. Very high-end player. He's expected to go in the second or third round of the draft coming up this summer. We've got his rights, so if and when he comes to the WHL, he'll come to Wenatchee. And then Mark Jomo is a 2009-born goaltender. We've got his signing rights in the WHL. He's only 15 years old, but he's playing AAA hockey down in the Dallas area. He's from Flower Mound, Texas, so he's right in the backyard there. But for as young as he is, he's an outstanding goaltender, and you can never have enough good goaltending. And we're kind of looking to the future with that and trying to make sure that's tied up well in advance before these guys start coming in, 16, 17 years old, and looking to make an impact with us.
Well, best of luck to Daniel Hauser in his future endeavors. We got rid of a goalie. We have a goalie that's coming in, but he can't play for us yet. So what is our goalie situation right now?
So right now, Brendan G is our number one goaltender. We actually called up a player from our 18U Academy team. Anthony Gunung got to travel with us as an emergency backup over the weekend. That move to bring in a second permanent goaltender. Bliss is still working on that one, but I know he'll have that one wrapped up by the end of the weekend. It was great to have Anthony on the road trip here this week, and it's nice to be able to talk about those call-ups now as well, because with the NCAA ruling back in November, it used to be if you played in a WHL game, you were mentioned in the lineup, you're promoted as part of the team for the night, it could mess with your NCAA eligibility because you're in the Western Hockey League now, even if it's only for one night. Now with the NCAA ruling, we can talk about him, we can promote him, we can chat him up, and not have to worry about his eligibility, and the academy team can promote him as well.
And then one more move late last week. We made a deal with the Pats. Talk about that.
Yeah, Ty Spencer brings a scoring punch to our team, but he brings some leadership to our team as well, which losing Kenta Isogai and Daniel Hauser, not that we're short on leadership in the room, but having another 2004-born player who can be an impact player for us, that'll be a big help, and we were able to pick him up for a draft pick further down the road as well. So to be able to bring in Ty Spencer, not sure how dynamic he's been for Regina, but he's been very consistent for them over the years, and they've looked to him for leadership on and off the ice. He'll be a big addition to this group.
Bliss is the general manager. He, in the end, is the one who's going to be pulling the trigger on these deals, but he does not do this without consulting the coach, and most importantly, he works hand in hand with the scouts. The scouts are out there not just studying film, but they're going to games.
Absolutely.
And then they're going to call Bliss up and say, there's this guy here, and he's good, and we got to figure out a way to put him into the Wild fold. That all of that works together, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a well-oiled team between Bliss and Chris Clark, who's our associate GM. All of our scouts, Lee Mendelson's watching games from all around the league and keeping an eye on our prospects and kids that we might want to draft coming up this summer. They've got a lot on their plate, especially right now. I'm trying to stay out of their way as much as I can and help get the word out on any deals that they do make. But it's a busy time for them right now. But it's a longer strategy for this group right now, and they're executing it really well.
The deadline is Friday, so there's probably going to be 2 or 3 more moves in the hopper, perhaps, before close of business on Friday?
There may be a few more moves we're working on, obviously, whether that's a signing, whether that's a trade, whatever that looks like, to bring in a permanent goaltender. And there may be a couple more moves along the way before this one's wrapped up. Every team around the league is making moves right now. I know our fans have really kind of honed in on the moves that we made here this past week and try to balance that with, guys that they've loved watching, guys that they've gotten used to being around and gotten to know, and having to balance that with the future of the team and building a better mousetrap here in Wenatchee at Town Toyota Center. But every team is making those moves right now. We've seen Calgary really go for it this year. They picked up Sawyer Mineo from Seattle, who's one of their top players. Just got back from World Juniors. They picked him up for a package of between draft picks and actual players, probably 6-7 pieces. So every team, even here in the U.S. division, they're all going through that right now. Our fans are not alone.
3 road games in 3 days. Friday, Vancouver got the better of us 3-0. Then we went to Portland and beat a very good team, the Winterhawks. We beat them 6-3 in Portland, I might add. And the Tri-City Americans are a very good team. And we went into the Toyota Center in Kennewick and kicked their butt on Sunday. We have highlights of all 10 goals. Believe it or not, it doesn't take very long. Austin, as usual, I'm going to ask you to use the monitor here in the studio. For you folks at home, please use your televisions.
Tri-City and Wenatchee on a Sunday afternoon. Wild coming out of a 6-3 win in a building where it's very tough to win a hockey game. Tough battle on the wall, but Evan Friesen's going to find this one out front. Not on the first one. Going to need the second effort, but it pays off. Just a couple minutes into the game, take another look. Miss on the first, make on the second, and the Wild lead this one 1-0. That one on the power play. This one on the power play, a 5-on-4. A 5-minute major. Deegan McMillan helping to set this one up, and Zane Saab finishes it off in front to make it 2-0. Carter McAdams out of the game with a charging major to set that one up. This one a 4-on-4, and the Wild make it happen anyway. A quick scramble in front of the net, and Miles Cooper pushes it in for a 3-0 game. We are barely 12 minutes into this one.
And at this point, did Tri-Cities pull their goalie?
It was the next one.
Next one?
Spoiler
Okay.
alert. There's the next one. Coming the other way. Odd man rush. 3-on-2. Am I going left? Am I going left? Yep, it's coming from the left, and it's coming from Lucas Sherbina. Glove side, hold on to that one. That one a 4-0 game, and now Nathan Preston steps in. Tri-City would not be held down forever. They would get it to 4-1, but the Wild fire it ahead, and this is where Evan Friesen took over. Just 2.5 minutes into period number 2. Sean Rios off the wall, and Evan Friesen to the back of the net. Takeaway, center ice, turn and burn. Evan
This is
Friesen.
an awesome goal. Look at this.
Whoop, gets Nathan Preston committed to his left. I'm not going left. I'm going around. Backside. Hat trick. Throw those hats. Hats off. 6-0 Wenatchee. Or 6-1 Wenatchee. It would be 7-1, though. Shot from Reed Andreessen. Wait, bing, off the post. And Evan Friesen right there, his 4th goal of the game.
A Texas hat trick.
The Texas hat trick. Everything is bigger than Texas. And the Wild lead 7-2 at recess. Coming the other way, Evan Friesen might have been able to get a 5th goal on this one. But why? Maybe when you can find Sean Rios for the sure thing. 8-2, final minutes. And the Wild add on. Maddox McHaggerty, right wing. Secondary break. Look at that one. All sorts of defenders at a screen to make it 9-2. And then Lucas Sherbina. We said hang on to the last one because he's going to go left wing, glove side on Nathan Preston this time to make it a 10-2 final score. First time in the Wenatchee era that this WHL club has posted 10 goals in a game.
What happened? I mean, Tri-City is good, and we beat them badly. Were they just not prepared to play? What happened?
That's what happens when you play as a team, and this group, the Wild group, played as a team. Their compete was excellent. Their discipline was really, really good all throughout the weekend. Drew some big penalties, obviously, against Portland and Tri-City. Took advantage of a lot of power plays. One thing, I didn't notice it on the weekend, but somebody else brought it up to me yesterday, was in losing Kenta Isogai in that deal. Kenta was one of the quarterbacks of our power play. And so, at some point, a couple, 3 passes into the power play, the puck is going to go to him. He's going to get a look. If he gets a look, he's going to take a shot. With him out, that randomizes the power play. It jumbles up the defense. Okay, give it 2 or 3 passes. It's going to go back to Kenta, and it might move back around. But at some point, it's going to go through him. Now, where's the puck going? It randomizes the offense, but it jumbles up the defense. They're trying to cover everything now. Opens up passing lanes, opens up shooting lanes, and it opens up a lot of opportunities. And these guys took advantage of that with some players who have been hungry for an opportunity, and I think we're willing to step up and take on the challenge here this weekend.
Yes, Evan Friesen had a really good night on Sunday, so much so he is the Western Hockey League's Tempo Player of the Week. And it wasn't just on Sunday. He had a good weekend altogether. How does that whole thing, how does the league decide who gets the Tempo Player of the Week? Is that just they just look at straight stats, or do the teams nominate a player for consideration? How does that work?
That one will come through the league, but I think they'll evaluate not just his numbers from the weekend, but how did you do? Who did you play? And we played 4 games this past week. Had a couple of assists on Tuesday night against Kelowna, and another huge win for these guys at home. Had the 3-point game done in Portland. Had the penalty shot, which is the first penalty shot goal since this group moved to Wenatchee last summer. And then obviously the 5.4 goal game on Sunday. I had a feeling it was coming, and it was good to see that one actually come for him, and to see him be rewarded for what he did for us this weekend.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The Wild have now won 6 of 8. We knew they were going to start turning around and start playing some pretty good hockey. They're climbing up in the standings. Victoria in town Friday, Spokane in town on Saturday. We got about 2 minutes. Go ahead and do this chronologically. Victoria and then Spokane. What can fans look for?
With Victoria, you got a group that's pretty good on the road. They're, I think, 12-6-1 away from the island. One of the best rookies in the league, and Keaton Veerhoff, he was just named the league's Rookie of the Month yesterday. And they've got a group. They're prone to close games right now. They've played more overtime games than any team in the league. So this one I would expect to be a tight one. It's Grandparents' Night. Papa Murphy's is our sponsor on a Friday night. So.
And real quickly before I forget, let's give Kenta some love, because he's going to be back in town. He was a big fan favorite. He was going to be, of course, with the Royals on Friday, but still, he's going to get a big ovation.
He'll be back in town. Hayden Moore played for us last year. He'll be back in town with Victoria as well. It was hard to see Kenta go. It was hard to see Daniel go, and Kenta will be back with the guys coming up this weekend. They're on a long road swing, hitting the mainland here, so they'll be traveling around the U.S. division. Our game will be part of a long road trip for them.
Spokane Chiefs, you got about 45 seconds.
Spokane going to bring one of the best teams in the league into the building. A couple of hard-fought games. The last time we played them right after Christmas, and played them really well right before Christmas as well. That one's our big one. Guns and Hoses night is on Saturday. We play at 6. Cops and Firefighters play at 4. 1 ticket gets you your seat for both games. Doors open at 3:30. Live and silent jersey auction that night. It's sold out back-to-back nights, so you want to get your tickets preferably now.
Yeah, Guns and Hoses sells out every year because it's fun to watch people who can't skate fall down. We're going to take a break. When we come back, your weather forecast. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar presentation of the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. The Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center will host the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Multicultural Fest on Saturday, January 18th from 10 to 3. Multiple booths will display arts, crafts, clothes, and pictures from various cultures, along with dancing, performances, and music. And the City of Wenatchee will award its annual Wenatchee Valley Uplift Awards during the program. The event is free and open to the public.
Greetings, Wenatchee Valley, from Collins Fashions. We love being a part of this wonderful downtown Wenatchee. Businesses up and down the avenue are here to serve you. Myself and my staff, Christy, Julene, Vicki, Judy, Georgia, and Ellie, say thank you for your support. We look forward to assisting you with your purchases, providing you with hand-picked quality merchandise. We wish you and your families an amazing and blessed new year. Collins Fashions, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
That, by the way, is our Ephrata camera, because we love Ephrata. All right, first of all, a little snow or a lot of snow. It depends on really where you live. Check out this little statistic. It's been below normal for snowfall since the water year started on October 1st, with the notable exception of Winthrop and Mazama, who've been getting pounded with snow. It's hard to believe Mazama's had almost 79 inches of snow since October 1st. Also, a lot of rain, too, so they're actually below normal for the most part in our area for snowfall, but not so much for rain. And let's go ahead and just jump ahead and do the forecast, because, by golly, that's what we do around here. Patchy fog today, otherwise just cloudy. Cloudy, and then 35 for the afternoon high. Tonight, cloudy, foggy, foggy, cloudy. 30 for the overnight low. Going to see a few sun breaks on Wednesday, not a lot, but a few, and a high of 36 degrees. Back comes the clouds, back comes the fog Wednesday night, 31 for the overnight low. Sunshine not going to be working on Thursday. Taking the day off, I have about 36. Foggy and cloudy on Thursday night, 30 for the overnight low. Friday, we start warming up. There's a weak system coming through Friday. Could give us some rain. Certainly going to be too warm. The snow level is going to be way up there, so we're not looking at any snow. We're looking at rain on Friday and a high of 42. Lots of sunshine. Beautiful day Saturday and a high of 42. And Sunday, we wrap up the week with sunshine and a high of 39. Once again, Victoria in town to take on the Wenatchee Wild on Friday. Then the big one, Guns and Hoses. As Austin said, just get your tickets now. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.